Okay, we are recording. So today is July 17th, 2022, and after a year of having my Flow Hives, beehives set up, I'm going to have a chance to harvest the first honey of my life. Lee is taking pictures too, so here we go. So this is how the Flow Hive works. The honey is going to come out of a tube here. And so I need to put the tube in, right into that location, and put the first jar underneath the tube, and then up here is where I'm going to stick the keys to open up the flow frames and let the honey flow out. So I stick my handy keys in here, and instead of opening up all the frames at the same time, I'm just going to open up the first, maybe the first third. So if I twist these together, the honey is actually, you can see the honey starting to drip down and flow down the tube. Now the bees are not affected by this because all of these honey cells are capped. I have a little piece of plastic here to try to keep any stray bees from coming by that it might be investigating. There's the honey.
Stick your head in there.
I'm actually going to try a little piece. Good.
That was good.
If I need to use this, I'm going to do this. Try to keep stray bees away.
You take that off so we can see it flowing.
I can. So the hive has a little bit of a tilt to it, so the hive is tilted back to encourage the honey flow to flow out the back of the frame the right direction. And when we're all done harvesting, I'm going to tilt it back upright again. Now I've only opened up about a third to a quarter of this frame. And you can see that the top of the tube here is pretty much full. So I'm going to take my, see how the honey level is almost up to the top of the tube there? So I don't want to induce more flow yet. If I want to, I can get a second bottle jar going over here too at the same time, which I will do soon.
Bees are coming around. You might want to cover it up. Bees are investigating. But for the most part, they're not back here.
No. One checking me out.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Okay. Thanks for helping document.
Good luck. Don't get stung.
I'm trying not to. I think I'm going to start a second jar. On the other end frame. The two end frames were the frames that were the most full and ready to harvest, which is why I am harvesting them today. The other frames were about half full, about half ready. So we'll take a pass on those. So I'm going to insert this into the other end frame, partway in, and see if we can get this honey flowing too. And here it comes. So I'm gonna put a little plastic tent over this one too.
Doing okay?
Doing well.
Good.
I just started the second bottle, the second frame. So we have both jars starting to fill now. Try to protect this from the smell of this from getting too much out there. And I'm going to go back here and maybe open up a little bit more. And we should see some more honey start to flow.
Let me take the bags off so we can get another picture of two going on.
So you can see this flow is starting to slow down, but since I opened up more, that should increase. This flow is doing pretty well. Here comes a bee investigating. Smells something going on. It went away. Now it's back. And when I'm done taking this honey, I'll bring it in the house and use the refractometer to make sure that there's not too much water content in it. And that way, as long as the honey is below 18 to 20% water content, it won't spoil. It won't grow bacteria. It will be good for a long time. So if I look into the frame, the bees are trying to get into these cells to figure out what's going on and clean up a little bit. But they can't quite squeeze in because the cells are smaller. They're split in half sort of now. They've taken a cell that was full and we've moved one side halfway down, and so now there's a channel for the honey to flow out, but also the size of the cell that a bee can stick its head into is about half as much as it used to be. So until we reset those, the bees really won't be able to get into each cell of the honeycomb and start cleaning up for the next deposit, which will happen pretty soon. So this is going to need a new jar. I'm going to try to do this as neatly as I can. And we will cap this one. It's not going to work. Now it will. So that was 1 quart out of this first frame. And the honey is still flowing pretty well. I'll let that continue to flow at that pace before I open up more, a larger part of that frame. This side is doing well also. It's starting to slow a little bit, so I'm gonna crank more of this frame open. Okay, I've opened now about 3/4 of this frame. So now we should see this flow increase again. And this side, starting to slow a little bit. This is about 1/3 cranked. I'll go in about half and give it a little bit more flow. And open up a few more frames here. A few more cells, I should say. So far, it's a beautiful day. It's about 80 degrees. It's hot and humid. The bees are out foraging. There's still clover in the yard that we see bees on. So for the most part, the bees are minding their own business while we're doing this. I have all this protection on. So far I haven't needed it, except for maybe one bee investigating what's going on. So that's a good thing. So I don't know if it's my imagination, but this honey looks a little bit darker. Might be. It might just be that there's more in the bottle. off for some pictures. This one is getting to be close. Get another jar out here. So this is about 1 quart, the first quart from this frame. Very nice. This is still flowing pretty well. They're both doing okay. I think I'm gonna add more frames, add more cells.